Hey blues fans, welcome, glad you made it. Time for another episode of This Week in the Blues. It's our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Locomotives. So, let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history. Blues guitarist Mike Bloomfield was born on July 28th in 1943. He received his first guitar as a teenager, and he and his friends began sneaking out to hear electric blues on the south side of Chicago's fertile club scene. He spent time at Chicago's South Side blues clubs and playing guitar with bluesmen like Sleepy John Estes, Yank Ratchell, and Little Brother Montgomery. He solidifies his reputation on the strength of his work in the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. Jimmy Duck Holmes was born July 28th in 1947. He's known as the last of the Bentonia Bluesmen, as he's the last blues musician to play the Bentonia School. Like Skip James and Jack Owens and other blues musicians from Bentonia, Mississippi, Holmes learned to play the blues from Henry Stuckey, the originator of the Bentonia blues style. Holmes is also the proprietor of the Blue Front Cafe on the Mississippi Blues Trail, the oldest surviving juke joint in Mississippi. His 2019 recording, Cypress Grove, was nominated for a Grammy. Blues guitar master Buddy Guy was born on July 30th in 1936. Buddy Guy is one of the most celebrated blues guitarists of his generation, possessing a sound and style that embodies the tradition of classic Chicago blues while also embracing the fire and flash of rock and roll. Guy began his recording career in 1959 and scored his first hit in 1960 with First Time I Met the Blues. Guy received the National Medal of the Arts in 2003 and was awarded the Kennedy Center Honors in 2012. In 2005, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, with both Eric Clapton and B.B. King presenting him with the award. Electric blues musician Big Jack Johnson was born July 30th, 1939 in Lambert, Mississippi. The ex-oil truck driver was one of the present-day players of an edgier, electrified version of the raw, uncut Delta blues sound. He was also one of a small number of blues musicians who played the mandolin. He won a W.C. Handy Award in 2003 for Best Acoustic Blues Album. Johnson was posthumously honored with a plaque on the Clarksdale, Mississippi's Walk of Fame in August 2011 and has a marker on the Mississippi Blues Trail. Blues bassist Ernest Big Crawford was born on July 31st back in 1897. He was the premier blues bassist of a generation and played with Muddy Waters, Sunnyland Slim, Little Walter, Memphis Minnie, Jimmy Rogers, Big Maceo, Big Bill Brunzi, Washboard Sam, and many others. Now that's an impressive resume. Unfortunately, there isn't much more information available about this prolific performer. There just isn't a lot of bio data out there, other than his recordings. Blues guitarist Robert Cray was born August 1st in 1953. He's one of the most commercially and critically successful blues artists of his generation and took his music to the upper reaches of the pop and rock charts when many blues acts were counting their sales in the tens of thousands. In 2011, Cray was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame and received the American Music Lifetime Achievement Award for performance in 2017. Texas blues singer and pianist Big Walter Price was born on August 2nd back in 1917. Born near Gonzales, Texas, he later moved to San Antonio, where he released his first song called Calling Margie in 1955. In the 1960s, he signed with Peacock Records and released several of his singles. His song, Pack Fair and Square, was actually covered by the Jay Giles Band. He died in 2012 at the age of 94, although he claimed he was 97. Well, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know more about these artists or other things that happened this week in the blues, then just be sure to follow our social media pages or visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. We'll have a new episode next week, so we'll see you then.